This is what this target looks like at 10 yards. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Today, we're shooting a little bit longer distance. I think one thing that is very, very important, and a lot of people harp on it, seems to be the trendy thing to do right now, is shoot at very far distances. And it makes sense, right? I mean, if you shoot at long distances, the closer distances just become easier and easier. So we're gonna stretch it out a little bit further than we normally do. Most of the time, to cap off practice, you'll shoot at 50, 60, maybe 80 sometimes. But we're gonna go a little bit further. We're gonna shoot at 100, maybe a little bit further than that if we can stretch out to it, and we'll just see how it goes. So we're gonna walk back here and we'll be good to go. Getting the target camera set up right now, and the more that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm realizing that I really have not shot at over 100 yards on camera in a long time. It's been at least a year. I think the last time I shot at 100 yards on camera was, I still had my Elite. So we're gonna stretch it out today. I don't know, I'm feeling good. I've shot at 100 today, just warming up, making sure my sight tape is good. Just shot 2 arrows, and then yesterday, or a few days ago, I shot 3. So we're gonna shoot a couple groups, kind of just see what to expect when you're shooting at 100 yards, talk about why it's important, and then we'll be good to go. But yeah, I'm just excited to see how it goes. So here we go. I'll get my bow. I got the second angle, the target camera set up here, and we're just gonna keep it back here, hopefully see those arrows drop in, and then we'll see how it runs. Cool. Okay. 1 hundo here. Let me double check, because most of the time, if you're shooting at like 20 and you hit like 21 or something like that, it's not a huge difference. You're not gonna notice that if your sight tape is on. But when you're shooting at 100 and your difference is like 101, 1 yard can be a couple inches. So, and a couple inches matters, guys. It really does. So let's go ahead. We're at 100 yards here. We'll see how this rolls. Okay, that hit bag. So we're released on the target. I got some of my better arrows lined up here on my quiver at the start. I got 1, 11, and I can't remember the other one. But these things have treated me well. There we go. That's in there. It's always that, like, it's the best feeling, having a split second when those arrows are flying, just waiting for it to hit. And there's that anticipation that builds, like, is it gonna hit? Is it not? But so far these are hitting good. I don't know where they're hitting, but I just know that they are, and that's all I can ask for. Ooh, that definitely hit the middle. I heard an impact, but it was softer, so that's good. One thing I'll also talk on here, I'm gonna shoot a 4th. Arrow number 4, yeah, that'll be all right. If you wanna get a little close on this one, you can see that my anchor point, so most of the time when I'm shooting, my mouth is closed, I'm just shooting normal. When you're shooting at a distance, since your sight is going down, so you have to move your bow up, your anchor point changes. So at 100 yards, I find myself actually opening my mouth. So that way my hand position can stay the same, but it just extends it ever so slightly. So it basically makes my anchor point longer. So that way my peep is still centered up on my sight, and I keep the same anchor point. Just a little hack for shooting at distance. I see a lot of guys who will only focus on lining up their peep, which really, at the end of the day, that's what matters. But it's nice if you can still have the same reference point with your anchor. You just have to remember to open your mouth. So if you want to keep a close angle on this one, I'll demonstrate that. So this is my normal anchor, just like that. But my 100-yard anchor, to get lined up like that. There we go. Cool. All right, first 4. Let's walk down there and see what story those arrows tell. Okay, so, you know, maybe not the best group. Got one that hit in the center right there, but I mean, as things go at 100, that is pretty decent in my opinion. Kind of scattered all over the place. And you got to think like it amplifies your mistakes when you're shooting at distance, right? Your 100-yard group, if it's solid, it's going to be really, really good at 20 yards and 40 yards. That's the point of shooting at, 100 plus yards. So we're going to go ahead, we'll run that back, see just how good we can get this group. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. So I know what I need to do. I know kind of the shots that I need to break now. I need to be a little bit more attentive to where my pin is, but that's a good start. First couple arrows at 100, I'm faithful. Alrighty, second group here. Hopefully this one's a little bit better than the first. All of them are on the target at least. That's all I can ask for. Gonna be honest, man, this group's feeling good. It's the first arrow, but that pin float on that first one was just dialed. So hopefully I don't jinx myself here. What was that? That
was 3.
3? Okay. Yeah, let's go one more here just to get some nice 4 arrow groups. Just keep things the same as they were. There we go. I think you're in the way of the target camera. Hey, there we go. We'll go see. We can see on this camera how it was. That gives us an excuse if the arrows weren't good, we can pull them and put them back in place without that camera seeing. I do think I mentioned it, how like it's more of a trend that I've been seeing recently is people posting videos of just shooting at really long distances. And I think that's really good as a pioneer in the archery space. I can't say that without laughing, but as a pioneer in the archery space, I think it's good seeing the industry going this direction. But no, in all reality, shooting at long range, I think is good, and having equipment that lets you shoot at long range, I think is even better. You have guys who tend to shoot heavier setups, who I feel like as they realize that accuracy and just the ability to have the arrow get to your target becomes more and more important, they tend to shift into a lighter and lighter arrow. And some people say there's too light of an arrow. I don't really think there's too light of an arrow, but I think there's too inaccurate of an arrow, and it comes down to tune. If I had an arrow that was 370 grains and shot at a really fast speed and I had it tuned so it was accurate with broadheads on, I would hunt with it. But typically for most people on the lighter arrow side of things, that lands at like the low 400s just with their shooting specs, about being able to have an arrow that is light but still is flying at a speed that is easy to tune. You can tune any arrow no matter how fast it's going. It's just a matter of your repeatability and what your tune is. But enough yapping on that group about stuff that doesn't really affect accuracy. In this case, let's go ahead and see how I shot. And it's gonna look really bad if I say all that stuff and don't shoot a good group. So let's go see. Okay, so much better group that time. Again, I think my sight tape needs to be a little figured out because I have one flyer there, but I mean, my sight tape on CBE sights only go out to 100 yards, so I can't ask for a lot more. I could, but I'm not gonna get it at least. But yeah, one little flyer, and then 1 or 3 arrows at 100 yards. If I squeeze them, I can fit them inside a hand right there. Jacob, that's kind of like your groups at 20 yards sometimes. So, there we go. All right, I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. Let's shoot one more group here at 100, and then we'll just kind of talk about why shooting at distance is important, or we'll talk more about it. So here we go, third group at 100 yards. Let's see how it rolls. Okay, last group, maybe at 100. If I don't like how this turns out, I might shoot another group here, but,
4 for 4.
Huh?
4 for 4.
It's true, but we'll see. Alrighty, first arrow here. Let's see how this rolls. Nice, that one hit smack dab in the middle. I heard that. Here we go. Whew. That one did not feel so good. I'm gonna let that one down and give myself a second to recover. And we'll see how that one goes again. That didn't feel super good. I was shaky, but here we go.
You got it now?
Yep. There we go. That one hit, I'm gonna assume that one hit a little high, or it just sounded like it. That's the good thing about having an old target, is that you can tell just by the sound where it hits. That one sounded like it did not hit the middle, so I don't know, we'll see here. Third arrow. Alrighty. I don't know where that one hit. Ooh, that fletching is probably gonna make it miss. Here we go. Yeah, that one's good. Oh, arrow number 9. Arrow number 9's never failed me. Here we go. Ooh, there we go. That one hit pretty good. I think it felt like that one hit just a little high left. So I'm gonna say one of them definitely in the middle, one of them a little high, one like just high left outside of the soft spot, and then, man, I don't know where the fourth one went, I'm gonna be honest. But let's go ahead. We'll go ahead, and I just lost my train of thought. We'll go ahead and check those out. We'll be good to go, okay? I'm losing it. So I definitely think, obviously, like, alrighty, you need to have a setup that allows you to do this. Like I mentioned, it's not just, I mean, you know, I talked about it with the arrows, but it's not just the arrows that get you this. Obviously, like, my bow is set up to be able to shoot at longer distances, right? Obviously, like, you need good equipment to do this. You need good stabilizers. Catalyst bars, in my opinion, are some of the better bars that you can get, especially for the price. You have a moving sight. I can't imagine, and I wouldn't recommend trying to do this with like a fixed 5-pin sight and just like guessing where your pin is going to be. It's not going to end well for you. Your neighbor's dog is probably going to get a couple arrows in it if you do that. And then like the bow itself, obviously Darton Sequel 33, this has been a really good bow for me, but just like, it doesn't need to be this bow. It needs to be a bow that can maybe be a little bit longer. I wouldn't do this with like a shorter axle-to-axle bow, or I wouldn't expect to set up a shorter axle-to-axle bow for distance. You know, you want a bow that is gonna hold accurate, that's gonna hold steady, and it's gonna allow you the best possible odds to shoot at long distances accurately. And yeah, I think it's really important to do that. I think that just shooting at long distances helps you at any distance. It helps you really know your equipment, and it's really similar. Like if you can't stand shooting indoor target, if you just don't want to stand 18 meters away and shoot at a paper 30 times, doing something like this is good in my opinion, because it amplifies your flaws in shooting, and it really makes it so you can work on yourself at shorter distances. You know, like if your equipment is sighted in to a certain degree, you're going to be able to shoot at 100 yards. You're going to be able to hit a target at 100 yards with an arrow, but it's just a matter of how repeatable you can be while shooting at 100 yards, and, you know, just how consistent you can be with that. And that's where yourself comes into play, not just your equipment. Your equipment can only take you so far. Shooting at, you know, longer distances can definitely show you where you need to work. Yeah, that's the TED Talk. Let's go check that third group, and then we'll be good to go. Oh, great. The second camera was recording for all of that, so I just burnt some footage. Okay, so the group opened up a little bit, but left and right on all of these is still really good. I mean, left and right, you're only holding, I mean, we got a 3-inch, 4-inch difference. So I like it. Up and down, that changed. And I definitely felt my anchor getting a little questionable on most of those shots, but you know, that's just kind of how it rolls sometimes. Your anchor can't be the best, especially if it's not set up for 100 yards, because, you know, like I said in the start of the video, I have to have my mouth pretty much open, and that's not the most consistent anchor, which leads to not the most consistent peep alignment. But yeah, you know, I definitely think that if you have a bow that you have to spare to set up at long distance shooting, that's good. My bow right now, like my anchor and everything, is set up for about 60 yards. So I can kind of do a little bit of both. I can shoot at short distance really easily because like you don't need to be as attentive at short distances. But then I can shoot at long distances too and shoot, I don't know, fairly decently. So let me know what you guys think of the shooting. Let me know if I shot okay or if I was just absolutely horrible, and you can shoot way better than me, which I'm sure you can, and I'm waiting for you to tell me all about it in the comments. But if you guys want to see any other videos like this, any more videos like this of just shooting, kind of hanging out, relaxing, let me know. It was more of a laid back video today, but in the meantime guys, I hope you have an absolutely blessed one, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.